Welcome to part 45 of In the Beginning and the End. And this is February the 27th, I believe. Yes, 2025. By man's calendar, mind you. Anyways, jumping on back in here to Genesis chapter 30. Genesis chapter 30. And when Rachel saw that she bore Jacob no children, Rachel conceived, Rachel envied, her sister, and said, Jacob, give me children, or else I die. We're not even supposed to envy. We're not supposed to envy, and we're not supposed to be jealous. We're not supposed to hate. We're not supposed to be bitter. And y'all want to think that these people was the example we're supposed to follow for the Lord? No, this is not it. And you get mad because I follow Jesus' example. And Jesus spoke sternly. Jesus did not coddle devils. And Jesus cast demons out. And he whipped them out of the temple when they were doing wrong in the temple. Anyways, going on. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel. And he said, am I in God's stead, who has withheld from you the fruit of your womb? And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah. See, she's doing just like Sarah did. Go into her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. That makes absolutely no sense to me. They're still not yours. Even if somebody else has them for you, that's not God opening your womb. It's not the same thing. You may love them like your own, but they're still not yours. And she gave him, and why would you want to give your husband another woman? I'm sorry. I'm not cut from that stone. If my husband cheats on me, my husband has cheated on me, that's fornication. My husband ain't going to be my husband no more because he's already removed himself from being that. And he went and husbanded somebody else so he could stay with that somebody else and leave me be. Now, that's just how it is. I don't got no time for his junk. I don't have no need for this. If a person can't love me and be faithful to me, I don't have a need for them. Same with God. If you cannot be faithful to the Lord, you can't be faithful to me either. So go your way. I have no time for this. And if you can't be faithful to me, then you can't be faithful to God either. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, as a wife. And Jacob went in to her. And Bilhah conceived and bore Jacob a son. And Rachel said, God has judged me and has also heard my voice and has given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again and bore Jacob a second son. And Rachel said with great wrestlings, have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed, and she called his name Nephtali, or Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob as a wife. Well, here's another 1,442 wives. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. This is, ooh, it irks me because one of the commandments is thou shalt not commit adultery. Well, and Zilpah, Leah's maid, bore Jacob a son. Yes, I know. This is how the seed was spread and how that God fulfilled the promise. But God will take what was meant for evil and turn it to good. Doesn't mean that God allowed this, or God permitted this, or God said this was okay. He just used it for his own purpose since it happened. And Leah said, happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field and brought them to his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, give me, I pray you, of your son's mandrakes. And she said to her, is it a small matter that you have taken my husband? And would you take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, therefore she shall lie with you tonight. Therefore he shall lie with you tonight for your son's mandrakes. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him and said, you must come in to me, for surely I have hired you with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night. Hello, Dolly. Now Jacob's a male harlot. I'm just putting it plain, y'all. Y'all ain't looking at these things, you ain't reading these things, you ain't understanding, and you think God was telling them to do all this. God never spoke one time in any of that and said, go do these things. He just told them that he would multiply their seed. He didn't say that he would do it sinfully. They're the ones chose that. And God hearkened to Leah, and she conceived and bore Jacob the fifth son. Why did God hearken to this in his sin? No, see, there's what you got to ask. Because they prayed They had faith for it. They believed for it. And God hearkened because to keep his promise to multiply their seed as his hands, as the stars. That is why God did this. And Leah said, God has given me my hire because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Ishkar. And Leah conceived again and bore Jacob the sixth son. And Leah said, God has endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun. And afterwards she bore a daughter, and called her name Dinah. And God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened to Rachel and opened her womb. And she conceived and bore a son, and said, God has taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, and said, the Lord has added to me another son. And it came to pass when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said to Laban, send me away, that I may go to my own place and to my country, and give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served you, and let me go, for you know my service which I have done you. And Laban said to him, I pray you, if I have found favor in your eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Lord has blessed me for your sake. And he said, appoint me your wages, and I will give it. And he said to him, you know how I have served you, and how your cattle was with me. For it was little which you had before I came, and it is now increased to a multitude. And the Lord has blessed you since my coming. And now, when shall I provide my own house also? He said, what shall I give you? And Jacob said, you shall not give me anything. If you will do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep your flock. I will pass through all your flock today, removing from there all the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and of such shall be my hire. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my hire before your face. Everyone that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and the brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me. And Laban said, before I would, it might be according to your word. And he removed that day the goats that were ringster and spotted. Ooh, these are some words. And all the goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them into the hand of his sons. All right, that's where we will pick up at on the next video at verse 36. See you there when I get a chance to get it up.